Hey everybody, let's talk about off-grid power systems. So right now you're probably building out your camper, or maybe you ordered it and you're thinking about how you want to power your system. There's a few ways to do it and a few things to dive into, so let's talk about it. So the first thing to pick for your off-grid power system is your battery. These days, I would say the most popular option to go with is a power bank. It's really easy, it's streamlined, easy to use. You can take it in and out when you need to. There's a ton of options for power banks out there now. So I have two power banks. I have a Goal Zero 1000X and then I have a Blue Eddy Elite V200. Both are great. I think honestly it's hard to go wrong these days with which power bank you get. Tune offers a Pecron. Can't go wrong with those either. I hear great things about Pecron. And now the next important thing is how much power do you need? That really comes down to everything you're gonna be running. So for me, it depends on the time of year, but like in the winters, which is when it's the hardest to keep your batteries charged, I'm running a heater at night. I'm always powering my fridge, whether it's summer or winter, which this draws more in the summer because it's trying to stay cooler for longer. And then my Starlink, which is running all the time. I'm also charging camera gear. I'm powering a lot of things, and so I need a lot of power. Are my two power banks enough for me? In the summers, absolutely. In the summers, it's super easy to stay charged. In the winters, not so much sometimes. It actually gets really tough. What kind of camper are you? This is something to consider. If you only go camp for a few days at a time, you're really only powering lights, you're not powering a fridge, you might be charging your phone here and there. Even this Goal Zero 1000X would be enough, so a smaller power bank will be enough for you. But if you want to go on longer trips and you're going to be off-grid for a while, you're definitely going to want to beef up your power system. And if there's one thing you're going to build in excess, it is your power system. That is something that a lot of people go by, and I agree, you never can have too much power in here. So now you've chosen your battery and you have your power system set up. How are you going to keep it charged and how are you going to recharge it? There's a couple ways to do that off-grid. The number one way is through solar and through the sun. I've had people ask me, is it worth getting solar on your camper? The answer is 100% yes. Just do it. It is absolutely worth it. It's super convenient. The sun is free. So for me on my Tune, I have over 520 watts of solar, which is a ton. That's great. You want as much as you can get pretty much. So what factors are going to affect your solar intake? And there's a few of them. The main one is time of year. So during the summers at my highest peaks, I'll see like 450 watts of input. You're never going to really see 100% with your wattage, but in the summers, you're going to see the most. In the winters, you're going to see a lot less. And it's for one, because you have way shorter days, which means less sun, of course. But something that I didn't know until I got into this was that the angle of the sun is a lot lower in the winter. So not only are you getting shorter days, but the angle of the sun means you're not getting as much input. So like I said, in the summers, I'll see 400, 450 watts of input. In the winters, at most, I'll see half of that because of the angle of the sun, which makes winter days really tough sometimes because not only is it shorter, but I'm getting less input in general for a short amount of time. So that's why it's really tough to get my batteries fully charged. But there are ways to actually combat that. So one of the things that I learned that makes a huge difference is that you can angle your panels to the sun. And with the Tune camper, you are able to angle your panels to it. All right, so let's watch and see how angling your Tune camper and your panels to the sun makes a huge difference. So right now I'm sitting at like 166-ish input, like 166, 167. I'm just gonna pull this down and you can see like it's already shooting up. I go all the way. So I'm already at 200 now, watts of input. Yeah, and that's probably about what I'm gonna get, is like that 207, 205 point. And then I'll put her back up and you can see her go. And you can see it go back down. The most I've seen is actually like a full 100+ watt of input, like in the middle of winter, into my battery, which over the course of an entire day makes a huge difference. 20, 30 watts over 8 hours or how many hours of the sun. That can mean like 10, 15, 20% of extra battery that you're gonna end up with by the end of the day. So then the other way to make sure you're getting the most out of your solar panels is by making sure they're clean. So for me, I like to just pour water on them and you just take a rag and you just wipe them up. Changes, because it does make a difference. 20 watts even through an entire day, that's gonna make a huge difference over 8, 9 hours. Another thing that I wanna note is the panels that I have are the flex panels from Tune. I recommend flex panels over any other panels. They're tough, they're durable, and they don't take up as much room or like stick up as much as like the rigid panels. So I highly recommend going with these. The other thing of note is a lot of people, when they get a power bank, they get like the panels that you can set out. That's fine. To me, that's a huge inconvenience. Go through with it, put them on your roof, get them on there, because then they're permanently on there and they're always working for you. They're plugged in your battery, you don't have to take them out. While I'm driving, these charge. At any time they're getting sun, they're charging my batteries. I don't have to put away panels, I don't have to take panels out. So I just recommend doing that no matter what. All right, so now that we've done a lot of talking about solar, how else can you power up your battery? Well, for one, obviously you can take your power bank out, plug it into a wall, which is another benefit of it. But the other main way, and I recommend doing it because you can do both, is having a DC to DC connection. What that essentially means is that you are connecting the battery to your car. And so every time that you're driving or your vehicle is on, it's charging up your battery too, which you might as well do, because if you're going to be driving a lot or driving at all, you're getting more charge than just solar. Or we just can't control the weather anyway, and it's a cloudy day, and one fully cloudy day and then another fully cloudy day, and suddenly you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough power to get through the night. Being able to turn your vehicle on in the winter when you're doing drives or anywhere, now you can keep charging your battery without just having to rely on the sun. So you have a backup, which is, like I always say, really important. I do want to forewarn though, if you are going to do a DC to DC connection, make sure that your power bank has, like, whatever brand power bank you went with has guidelines to do that. If you don't do it properly, there can be some electrical issues. I know like Blue Eddy, for example, they have a specific system to wire it, and then you won't have to worry about it. But just make sure you go through the guidelines of whatever power bank company you go with. If you do go with like the house battery style, it's a lot easier to do a DC to DC connection. So some people do prefer it for that. But that's pretty much the other way to keep your power system in your house charged when you're on the road and off grid. All right, so I would say that covers just about everything for your off-grid power system in your Tune M1 camper. These campers are so easy to set up with an off-grid power system. There's no reason you wouldn't want to. And then you have the benefits of being able to like power a fridge without having to get ice all the time. You can power your heater, you can charge all your things. And fortunately, you have a ton of roof space for all your solar. That is how you have an off-grid power system in here. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please drop comments down below. We love to answer questions. We're here to help you and figure out your system and your build. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.